Hi guys, it's Thommo and welcome to this week's Supergirl review. Slightly later than scheduled, but nonetheless. And this week we saw Kara experience a very different type of kryptonite in the form of red kryptonite, which basically saw her taken over by her negative and enraged thoughts from deep within. And there were a lot of repercussions because of this change in her character. There were a lot of after effects following very heated conversations that she brought to each character, and what was essentially very much set up as pretty much one of those throwaway episodes that we can often see in shows like this. It actually, towards the back end of the episode, it brought about a lot of very interesting developments in relationships with a certain couple of characters, and it really posed a lot of intrigue as we head towards the back end of the series and just how things will pan out between Kara and certain individuals. So I think one of the biggest things this week, and spoiler alert for this recap I think this week, because there's a lot to talk about, is John Jones finally revealing to everybody that he is in fact Martian Manhunter and that Supergirl isn't the only alien in town. Obviously this was a very, very big thing to happen, him to finally reveal himself after all the weeks where he said he's tried to keep himself a secret. So for him to suddenly make that bold decision, it really poses the question, what next for him? He's obviously been captured now. So is he going to be incarcerated? Is he going to be utilised by the humans as Supergirl is? So there's a lot of unanswered questions, and it'll be really interesting to see what happens with John Jones going forward. You also have the relationship between Kara and her sister. I think there were a few feelings that were brought up and some home truths that were brought up when Kara was under the influence of the red kryptonite this week, and that's obviously had a massive effect on Alex as she has come to realise that actually she's been using her sister a little bit, and there's not quite been that honest approach and that slight feeling of jealousy there. So that's another point at which the show can really explore, and that's what's so great about this show. As I've said previously, there is a lot of the relationship aspect that they delve into, and I think this is where Supergirl really bolsters itself in the fact that it's not all about the action set pieces and such. This is very much a show grounded in reality and the fact that all of these characters, their actions and what they say certainly have ramifications. And one final point that has to be said is obviously the fact that now Supergirl has been seen with a bit of a mean streak by the public, and following Cat Grant's news announcement, the world now sees her in a different light. So where does she go from here? How does she rebuild that trust with everyone? That is something which will definitely be of massive, massive interest heading into the back end of the series. And it also poses a question, is Flash's involvement in the next week or two, is that going to be something that's used as a catalyst for her rebuilding her reputation? So there's a lot of great stuff going on in the show, and I think what I thought was going to be a very much a throwaway episode that almost kind of harked back to the days of Smallville when Clark saw himself part of the red kryptonite influence. It actually turned out to be a really great episode and explored a hell of a lot of things and just paved the way for the next couple of episodes. So really good job from everyone here. And that concludes this week's review, guys. I hope you enjoyed it as always. If you liked it, make sure you click on that thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Plenty of content coming up very, very soon, especially when Flash and Arrow finally return to us next week. And as always, until the next time, take care.